Hi, it's Liz Nedden. Let's have a look at how we estimate and read scales for measurement topic. So the first thing we need to know is that we've got lots of different units. So if I'm measuring a weight, I would measure something in kilograms or grams. If I'm measuring the length of something, I might use centimetres or metres. And if I'm measuring a volume, I might use cubic metres or I might use millilitres or litres. So when I want to estimate a length, I need to have some kind of idea in my head of how big these lengths are. So when I talk about a millimetre, 1 millimetre, well, think about how thin your pencil is. That's about a millimetre. Or how thick your credit card is. That's about a millimetre. So when we try to estimate, I want you to have that visual image in your head of how big 1 millimetre is. If we're looking at a centimetre, think about your nail on your finger. Then that nail itself is about 1 centimetre wide. So 1 centimetre also equals 10 millimetres. When I'm talking about a metre, so a metre is 100 centimetres, or if you put your arm out and you measure then from your shoulder to the end of your fingers, that's about a metre. Or the distance from the floor to your waist, that's about a metre. And a kilometre is the other one. So for example, if I walked from my school at St Kentigern's down the road to Burgerfuel and then back again, that would be about a distance of 1 kilometre. So it's 1,000 metres. So if I take roughly 1,000 steps, that would be 1 kilometre. So when I want to read scales, there's different kinds of scales I need to know. So length, we can use measuring tapes, we can use rulers and things like that. If I want to measure a weight, then I'm going to use some kind of scale to measure that. Time, we would use either a digital or analog clock. And volume, we often use measuring cups or cylinders, or sometimes even like teaspoons, tablespoons measures. So when I want to use a ruler, I've got to remember to place the ruler and start at 0. That's always really important. When I'm reading a scale, if I've got a needle, then I always read from the left hand side to the right. If I'm reading a volume, always look at where the lowest point is, so where the bottom of the curve is. It's called the meniscus. You always want to look for that lowest point. And when we're reading time, so if I've got a analog or digital clock, then or analog clock, then we should have the small hand pointing at the hour and the big hand pointing at the minutes. So here's an example. If I look at this one here, what we've got is we've got a line and I want to see how long it is. So I'm going to measure across and see where does that come to. And I can see that goes to roughly 12.8 centimetres. So that would be the length of my line. If I'm reading off my temperature, I can see the temperature there is at 30, and so that is my temperature, 30 degrees Celsius probably. My volume, the third one there, I want to look for where the bottom of that meniscus is. So the bottom of that meniscus I can see is down here. So I've got my line going across there at 4, there's my 5, and there's the line that's halfway, so that would be 4.5. So this next one up is 4.6, and it's halfway between that and the next, so that will be 4.65. When I look at the weight of this bag of salt, then you can see there that the needle's pointing down to the 500. And that's measured in grams. So the weight of salt would be 500 grams. Looking at our time there, we can see the small hand is pointing to the 12 and the long hand is pointing to the 2. And so that would be the 2 would mean it's 5:10 past and it's at 12 o'clock. So 12 is the hour and 10 past is the minute. So 12:10. Thanks very much for watching.